fufu.
No, I don't eat fufu. So
No, she doesn't eat fufu.
sorry, don't tell me I'm missing anything.
Your entire life. Oh, you are missing. You're missing a lot.
Nothing.
If you miss having two, you've missed the most important things in life. Two most important things in life. Hey!
So this whole talk about a national meal, like what local dish we should push out there, led me to look around, right? So I've come across this research, this study that a group actually did, and they were looking at the relevance of food tourism in national development, determining the factors which influence the participation in food tourism and then promote interest in local dishes. And they carried this in Kintampo, Bono-Ahafo region. The results, according to the report, revealed that tourists travel from far and near to enjoy the culture of other regions and countries of which food is part, and they're looking at factors influencing participation in food tourism. 100% of the respondents agreed that food tourism is relevant to national development. So the recommendation is that food tourism be part of government's tourism agenda and should be properly organized to meet the current changes and challenges. So it looks like what we're discussing has a bigger implication in national development.
Look, all of you here know I don't take coffee, right? And every time you've had coffee, I'd say no. But when I went to Ethiopia, when I was in Addis Ababa, because of the so much talk about Ethiopian coffee and everything, I said, why not try it? This is somebody who ordinarily would have nothing to do with coffee. But once I found myself in Ethiopia, and there's a lot of talk about Ethiopian coffee. There's one coffee that says, this animal would take it in, comes out of the animal, and then it's part.
It's part of the animal poo. Say it that way.
Yeah, well,
and that's the best coffee.
It's very early in the morning. So, so I was like, oh, how about I try? So I tried it. I was like, well, it's not bad. Of course, once I didn't go back to it because that's me not wanting to have anything to do with coffee. And a lot of people were like, buy me coffee when you're coming back from Ethiopia and all of that. Because they've been able to market what they believe is unique to them.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so while we are having this conversation, we'll come back to it. We'll read a lot of the messages, we'll activate the phone lines and hear from all of you. But while we're having this conversation also, the reason we're having this conversation is how we can even use food to promote tourism in this country. Because we have done the December to remember and everything. Today, the whole world knows that, the Christmas, there cannot be Christmas without Ghana.
Yeah.
So how do you take advantage of it now? How do we promote our food, local food? How do we promote the fufu that many of you say should be the national meal?
That has won.
Yes, from the messages that have been coming, let me do a few of them, starting with what would be pleasing to Mamavi. It says, Gobe to the whole, we are say. Gobe. That's at Nana Kwame Ankara. At Perez Ewenam says Kinky. And at Tete Solomon says Fufu all the way. Internationally accepted. Prince Harry says, until I see Akple and Abobitati and Kokunte with granite soup, I have not seen the best meal representing Ghana. Then at Nana, if he says, just check the health benefits of Kokunte and jump to your own conclusion. At Joseph Amoa says, when you attend wedding receptions, funerals, chop and others, what food gets finished first? Kokunte all the way. I've never been to any wedding that they prepared Kokunte.
Yeah.
Oh, one. Yeah.
And what are you saying?
Actually, also haven't seen Omutuo.
I've never been to any wedding that you've served Kokunte before.
It's true.
I've never.
Face the wall.
But the Kokunte and Fufu debate was settled on the SMS.
Yeah, of course. Clearly.
Yes, I was for Kokunte at the time.
But the preponderant position was.
But the experts actually said that because Kokunte is just made from cassava, and Fufu is made from cassava and plantain.
Yeah.
Fufu nutritionally. Yeah. Is better than Kokunte.
Yes, that was settled. Factual. Yes.
So that was settled. Even though I'm quick to admit when I am wrong.
Yes. All like others.
But at Kwame81 says, let's promote Kokunte and granite soup with okro. Face the world. I'll tell you a funny story one day about how Enimo and I ate Kokunte after going for the COVID-19 vaccine. We were very hungry.
Yeah, that vaccine has that effect.
We went and they said, please, what food do you have? Says, oh, we have kokonte and this and this thing. And it's okay. Can you give us fufu? So fufu is finished. Then kokonte 2, say no problem. And so kokonte is left with only one. But even that one is groundnut soup and chicken. I say no, bring it. Oh, sorry, the chicken is fried chicken. We say bring it. And anyone was waiting for hers. Before she could be served her rice, when they bought my kokonte, she joined me to eat. At L_Grandsanto says, Wache is the real deal. Everyone go to sleep, please. At Oliver J says, Eto with grilled tilapia, crunchy fried yam, better than French fries. Kili-willy.
Kelewele.
Kelewele, but kelewele is not a complete meal, is it?
Why is it not?
It's not.
Anyway.
Oh, but you can do kelewele and peanuts.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see.
And granite.
Granite, yes. Granite. And Nene Newman says, fufu is an internationally salivated food.
Brilliant.
But how can gobe be international food? Like how?
Seriously.
Then at Dansuman Manche says, fufu and aponchin kakra. Wache, gobe, first to third in that order. Let the rest follow. At Bernice_Ive says, the almighty gobe. And at G_Omzi says, akple and fetridechi. Now,
I hope the people who will make the determination for the country are listening. Listen, we are voting a very serious election here. We, the people of this country, are choosing the people who should represent us, the food that should represent us. Let our vote count. Let it matter. We are now fufu is in the lead.
This is an alliance.
Fufu
Yes,
is in the lead.
yeah, fufu is in the lead.
That's one
so we
from-
want it to count. No rigging. Yeah.
Our own how Adam says, what about banku? Everyone eats it. Okay, let me read one from Collins Ajiman Sapong. Now, Collins Ajiman Sapong is actually the former president of the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supplies in Ghana. He says, fufu is the only food which is strategically prepared.
Sorry, is that the actor?
Yes, that's the actor.
Yeah, because I'm picturing the face and the fufu, and so continue. Yeah.
Yes, he says fufu is the only food which is strategically prepared and strategically and systematically eaten.
That's right.
Ghanaians, let's take fufu, which is uniquely ours, to the international market. Why? Fufu are strategic competitive advantage food.
How do foreigners strategically position themselves to eat fufu in a strategic way?
let
I
me-
mean,
No, take your time. You see, there are things that you need. You see, some people they export their own individuals to go and prepare foods specifically for groups. There are restaurants that when you go elsewhere around the world, if the guy who's mainly at the helm of affairs, it's not for a certain area, people will not go for the food. We should reach the point where we deliberately export people to go and prepare food for people all over the world. So if it's not a Ghanaian that's making it, you're not doing it right. You get one point?
Yeah.
So that's how strategic it can be. Not only improving our exports, it will also bring in a lot of income to the nation.
Look, everywhere I have been, I ask first of all their traditional food and drinks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to go anywhere and go and try things that I am used to.
yeah.
I'm telling somebody to not do the same in London now. I mean, how can you go to London and
It's
be
just
chasing
that
Ghanaian
it's just that I went to Addis Ababa and said I wanted fried rice and chicken.
Ash.
Spicy chicken and everything. Then they prepared the fried rice and chicken and brought it. I asked them, where is the chicken? So the chicken is mixed with rice. What is happening here? Anyway, Kojakote Boache sent the formula. Remember the formula?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so the fufu formula is, you look, P is equal to F over A, R is M over 2, W is equal to F times D, then V is equal to D over T, and A is equal to pi R
Listen,
squared.
I'm lost.
Okay, you relax. I'll show you right now. So P, that is pressure, force over area.
Yeah.
The size of the pestle and the pounding intensity generates pressure.
Uh-huh.
The A is the pi R squared. Now the area of the surface of the mortar can be calculated using the formula. The larger the area, the more fufu it can hold.
Yes. Now I get it. So the R will be radius.
V
Yes.
is velocity change in distance over displacement over time. It can be used to calculate how fast the pounding is going. This is the physics of fufu.
No, take the education. It's important.
Then F is equal to ma. Now Newton's second law of motion is ma, or force, is equal to mass times acceleration. You can use it to calculate the force in the arm, over hand, or whoever is driving or turning the fufu. The W is equal to F times D. That is, work done is equal to force times distance.
Yeah.
And R is M over 2. In this context, is to calculate the radius of the base of the pestle.
That sounds like a problem of the day.
No,
Yes.
this is a very wonderful elucidation of how this food is prepared. The mechanics that go into
So
it.
complicated.
No, it's not complicated. I mean, clearly, this is basic physics. But the understanding here, which you should get, is that unlike some of you who think that this is a very small process, it's a very wonderful thought-through process, which delivers a very wonderful product. At the end of the day, when you see the food and you are convinced that a lot of, you know how they say expensive things, they say handcrafted bag. It's the fact that we believe the human being's impact. People used, in fact, you can say 100 hours of work went into producing this food. The amount of time you spend on it tells you how you cherish and love the process. That's what you get out of fufu in any way. I've heard some who are complaining about taking a longer time in preparing. So the rest of the time, what do they use it for? Were they saving the world? Were they curing cancer? I mean, of course, it is an important meal. And mostly, when people are considering patenting food products, how you prepare it, an ingenious way of doing it.
Important we stated.
Yes.
Patenting food products.
Yes.
Because you may think that any food, I mean,
No.
just be-
How you do it matters. So we should be
So
considering
the
some
more
of these things.
complicated it is,
It helps out. So you can explain that process to not the ordinary person. If somebody can sit in, which is happening everywhere, if somebody can sit in China, I've seen Chinese doing gobe, which is a very
oh, but there's
simple
a
process.
Ghanaian way of doing gobe.
No. Yeah, I agree with you, but
We-
I've seen
we are not
Chinese
just
doing
cooking
gobe
the beans
because of
and
how
putting red
simple
oil
gobe
on it.
is.
That's not it.
Because of how simple gobe is, that's why anybody can do
I
it.
want to activate the phone lines now. I think we should take some calls and
The
let's see
fufu
what
lovers can call.
people make of this. Tell us your choice. What dish you
I'm
think we
beginning to
can
change
push
my
out
mind.
there? And Fifi Takis just sent me pictures of, oh my God, beans and cocoa. There's anguamo with some hot pepper, pear.
you mean he sent you pictures of yokegari? Yokegari.
But there's also kenke with pepper.
No, hold on,
fish,
Mama, hold on, the yokegari,
onion.
because there's a debate now. While we are talking about everything, I mean, Sami Adame, who's refusing to sleep, sent me this message from Ayuku Utu that says, "This gobenim, when did it start?
Brilliant.
Didn't we call the meal yokegari? Or yoketatali? Or yokegari? So please,
Okay, which means he is for red. It's just the name.
please.
It's this,
Somebody has
he
raised concerns about a name doesn't mean he's for it.
No.
He must be clear.
Yeah, yes.
It's red.
But they are saying you are naming the
But
thing.
look at this.
You are giving it the wrong name. Your
Nutritious
response is that, oh, I like it.
looking beans with cocoa on it.
Mama V,
with the jomi.
this one says Ogugu Christian at Ogugu Christian says kokunte is the food for the gods. I will stay 100 years in Ghana without ever staying where they eat that green. Hey, which one is that?
No dispute there, except that we're not serving the gods. We are saying
At Abna Anders says Kofi Brookman plantain with granite.
Professor Peter Corte says fufu is local champion, but if you want an internationally accepted dish, then red all the way.
I love Prof. I mean,
Thank you. Red is
one
international.
of the few times that people you respect so much, you have to disagree with. I mean, 100% I love Prof. But wait, yeah. Local champions, eh? In all fairness, in comparison to red, it's just plantain and beans.
It's not just
International
plantain
people
and
like
beans.
maps, they can't even eat beans. Yeah,
Do you
because
want-
of the
do you
effect
want
of
to-
beans on the people.
Do you want
They
to
don't know because I mean, why would you want to eat
represents
food?
maps well on this matter?
Let's activate the phone line.
Yes, Map said that beans does a lot of things to her.
0302216541 is a number to call, and Dawood is calling from Labadi. Good morning, Dawood.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm also fine.
Okay, great. So, what do you think?
I have chosen kokonte with gano soup mixed with fish and meat.
Okay, and why do you think that can better represent us internationally?
The color itself is speaking for the whole world. The color of the kokonte is telling the whole world that this is Africa and this is coming from Africa.
Hey, Kala, you never.
Yo, Dawood, we hear you. Thank you, Dawood.
But no, hold on, but Dawood, what's the color of kokunte? Okay, we've lost Dawood. I wanted to know the color of kokunte.
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
Let's go to Kumasi. Ike's been listening on Love 99.5. Ike, good morning.
Good morning, Mama V.
Yes.
I'm listening to you on the Motor TV. This thing.
Oh, okay, all right, sure.
I've been following the discussion.
Great.
Actually, I mean, even where I'm calling from even tells you where I'm going for. It is fufu all the way. And like Winston rightly said, he said he went to Ethiopia and then people told him that he should buy them what do you call it, coffee. Mm-hmm. So you see, for coffee it is easy to buy and carry. But for fufu, it is not easy for someone to buy fufu from Ghana and then send it to another country. So that one will even attract tourists to even come to our country more. So I think fufu all the way.
Chief.
I thought they're like the opposite of it.
No.
Anyway, all right, thank you, Ike. George is in Adenta. Good morning, George.
Good morning, Winston and the rest.
Good morning, George.
Charlie, it be Chris Brown. Chris Brown. Kokonte, Chris Brown. You have no idea.
No, George, why?
Kokonte is unique. It identifies us. You hardly see Kokonte on the foreign market. And actually, when it's prepared with, like one of the earlier callers said, with salmon, aponche. You see aponche, the back, the skin. Oh boy. Charlie, Kokonte. And how many ladies as you have currently can prepare Kokonte? It's not easy to come about. It takes an indigenous African woman to prepare Kokonte. Charlie, Chris Brown is the first. I'm for Chris Brown.
So why we call it Chris
so George, Kokonte with what? In Katenkwai or what?
In Katenkwai.
Okay.
Or you can even do it with in Katenkonto.
Or you do Katenkonto be.
But we you know that way they pretend.
But why do you call it Chris Brown?
Chris Brown. Charlie, my students call it Chris Brown. That's what they eat. And they think it's more cheaper. Prefer to other food on the market.
Oh, okay.
So what they do is that they buy Kokonte like 6 cities. No, or talk around your man, your friend is a fish in it, okay. It's good to go.
All right. George in Adenta, thank you very much. George is for Kokonte. Ken in Kumasi. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Mama V.
You good?
Oh, bless you. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you. You sound like you're going to go for red.
Yes, I'm not the red type.
Oh.
So you've deviated, right? You see, let's go for that's face the Kongunte.
Hey.
Sir.
Yeah. The other guy was saying
the English you are speaking.
He said something and then you guys were trying to ask him the color of Kongunte.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, the old one, the one that is being smoked, okay, the black one, you see, it depicts our color. So that type of Kongunte is the one that we are talking about, the dark one.
All right.
The one that you can use with any kind of soup or, let's say, pepper. Okay. Have you tasted Kongunte with pepper before?
No.
So try that one. It helps a lot.
All right.
Kongunte all the way.
So I guess Ken is also going for Kokonte because of the color.
No, but it's very sweet too.
Okay. All right, Ken. Thank you. Joseph is in Tema. Good morning, Joseph.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, Joseph. You good?
Hope you're doing well.
Oh, very well here, yes.
Yeah, you know why I always go for beans? It's a multi-purpose food that we have because when you're eating rice, you can put beans on it.
That's it.
When it is gari, making it you are there. When it's plantain, you are there. You can even put beans into soup. So it is all-purpose food that we need to eat. So
nice one.
Fantastic.
Nice one. You're a multi-purpose guy. Joseph, thank you. Let's go to Kofi. You can also call us on 0302-216-541 or 055-1111-997. Kofi's in Kumasi. Good morning, Kofi.
Yeah, good morning, Mama V.
Yes,
this is Kofi Badrimba.
Great.
I love your name, pal, Mama V.
Thank you, Kofi.
I'm going for TZ, Dihu with this soup, kubewa, busheshe kubewa.
Hey.
That is the soup. We call it busheshe kubewa.
Hey.
The dry okra.
Okay.
that has been used with Ntintini. Do you know Ntintini?
No, Kofi.
Oh, you don't problem for Diani. Ntintini, you go to Mayanka, you ask for Ntintini, and they'll give you Ntintini, then you come and use it with
Raymond is showing me.
Plus.
Okay.
T-Z-ya, Esiho, Ajopa, na Eden. Oh.
Oh,
Guy.
Papa. All right, Kofi Kumasi, we're grateful. Nana Joy is in East Legon. Nana Joy, good morning.
Oh, Mama V.
Yes, Nana.
Oh, Mama V. So you introduce your meal to someone for the first time, and the person enjoys the meal. He gets home, and the tummy is trembling. Mama V.
Oh.
That is the problem with the Yokegari.
Yeah, we know.
Mama V, if you introduce your meal for someone it's nice. Then the person gets home and the tummy is empty all over the place. How is this marketable? Because some of us think, no.
That's one bad experience.
My tummy with this, come on, I can't.
Okay, so you're not.
Please.
If
Mama V,
East Legon says it's who else?
Hey, V. No way.
Yo, Nanajwa, thank you very much. It says no to red. All right. Kojo Boateng is in Kumasi. Kojo?
Yes, please. Mama V,
yes,
good morning.
Kojo. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Very well, thank you. Are you going for fufu or kokonte?
I'm going for laughs.
Another
name for kokonte.
Hey.
Yes. If you want to garnish it well, embellish it, go for laughs. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Why kokonte? I think we had 3 colors from Kumasi all going for kokonte.
We have about 3 colors. We have the black one, the brown, and the white. Okay. The white is the modified one. The brown is the one that and the brown one is the typical local one. And the hatana is friends we have boso ponchi fasu kakra na money ingredients ni Charlie, when you have between with you, it's so delicious.
Sir?
I swear, with peanut soup.
As in
everyone says granite soup.
But just saying,
granite soup.
But okay, let me go in for granite soup.
Because
that's what you need. I'll call it peanut soup.
Yo, Kojo from Kumasi, thank you. We thank you. Let's go to Kofi. Also in Kumasi, Kofi Chumesi, good morning.
Good morning, Mama.
Yes, Kofi, how are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How about you?
I'm very good as well. How are you listening to us?
Oh, I'm listening to you through the motive.
All right, great. Okay, so Kofi, what's your choice?
Oh, you are watching the post after this morning, and I hope you are not causing any temptation to my brothers who are doing the Muslims who are doing the fasting.
Not at all.
Some of them have been sending messages.
Yeah, I'll go for fufu any day, especially with a bunabunu, with a ponching, those nice. I mean, very, very nice. Fufu, so I'll go for fufu on any day.
Okay, so Kofi, why? Why do you think fufu is the best meal that can represent us internationally?
Because you see, fufu, the way even from how Winston described it, it is very difficult for someone to do it, if not the person not a Ghanaian. But for the natives or the Ghanaians, we know how to prepare it very well. But for Gobe, it will be easy for someone to just put the beans and these things together and do it. But for food, it will take so many, it takes very difficult for you to be able to prepare it.
Okay. Yo, Kofi, we hear you. Thank you. Isaac is in Katamanso. Isaac, good morning.
Good morning, Mama V. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Isaac.
And good morning to my neighbor, the ancestor.
Isaac James.
Yes, my brother.
Isaac, let's hear you.
Winstonia, Mama. In fact, I'm rooting for Gakinke because already Gakinke all over the world, Ghanaians take Gakinke everywhere. And I mean, it's across the country. Everywhere you go, you get Gakinke to eat. So that is already, I mean, a food that people know as Ghanaian food. So let's root for Gakinke. Thank you very much.
That would be kinke with the pepper or
exactly Gakinke with pepper and the fried fish, or Gakinke with okra stew. It can go with anything. Gakinke can go with okra stew. It can go with gravy. It can go with soup. Everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Isaac. We thank you. Joe is around the industrial area. Joe, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
You're good?
Very, very, very well.
We thank God. All right. What's your choice?
Wilson has of the color of Kokunte.
Yes.
Yeah, the color of Kokunte is multimedia.
Is that what it?
Which one?
It's multimedia. You see, you have different. You see, these days, ladies, they don't prepare the Kokunte well. You see, when you prepare the Kokunte, you have to put some small okra with some red oil. You see that oil on top. After that, then you add your granule soup. To position yourself well, then you see.
Joe, please reduce the volume on your radio set. You're giving us some feedback.
I've done it now.
Okay, please go ahead.
Is it okay now?
I think it's better now.
Very well. I'm just telling you, our ladies, they don't prepare the Kokunte very well. You see, after preparing it, we have to put some small okra. Then when you put the small okra, wait for some small time before you add the stew, the soup. That's where you see how the Kokunte will go. You get my point.
All right. So Kokunte for you then, Joe. Thank you. Mike is in Somanya. Mike.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Great.
Yeah, I hope you are too.
Oh, yes, by God's grace.
Yes. When something is so obvious and we still decide to, subject it to national debate, it gets surprising. Because, why? Banku is the national champion. And we all know this. Everywhere, I mean, we are talking about something that is national in nature.
Mike, before you continue, please turn down the volume on that radio set for us, okay? It's giving us feedback.
Okay.
All right.
So, something that's already very popular amongst the people, something that is always available in homes. In the homes, if you visit the average Ghanaian home, Banku is prepared and sometimes stored over a week or two for the whole family. Something that is easy to prepare and already very popular. That is Banku, pepper, and fish.
Okay.
I don't know why we are even debating this. So, it is already popular. It is almost in every home. It is stored. Everybody have access to it. Easy to prepare. And that is, these to me are the characteristics of a national something.
Right.
In this case, national dish is Banku. Thank you.
All right, Mike. Thank you. Emmanuel is in Ada. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Mama.
Yes, Emmanuel. What's your choice?
How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Fine. Listen, I'll go for Kokunte.
Okay.
Why, Emmanuel?
Kokunte because even recently my wife gave birth. And then the breast milk was not coming. The grandmother requested Kokunte with granule soup. Immediately took it within a day. The breast milk was just following. Kokunte can be eaten with anything, with pepper, rice soup, granule soup, palm soup, or okra soup. And then, so fufu, yes, for fufu, if you don't get those abenkwa and those things, you don't go with it. So I think Kokunte can represent as well.
Okay, for the breast milk, Emmanuel, thank you very much, Emmanuel from Ada. This is Kwame. Good morning, Kwame. Kwame is joining us from Tema. Good morning, Kwame.
Good morning.
Yes, Kwame. You good?
I think for the food to become national, the preparation must be something we can do easily see anywhere in the world, and within the shortest possible time for both. And for taste and for preparation, I'll go for red.
Nice one.
I'll go for fried plantain and beans stew. Very simple.
Great.
With the Kobe momone and the herrings all represented in the parliament.
That's all. That's all. Kwame, thank you. I like the way you laid the foundation, and then you put the structure on it. Thank you.
And that's,
now names account. Bismarck is in Tema. Hello, Bismarck.
Hello.
Yes, hi, Bismarck. You're on air. Good morning.
Fine morning, madam. How are you too?
Oh, very well, thank you.
Hey, this morning I've got something to know. I will go for Fanti Kenke and how do you call it? Fanti. Don't go there. Gamma will say Kaya J. Fanti Kenke you can take to anywhere. When you get the Fanti, attach to Fanti Kenke. Kaya J.
Okay, wait.
Quality food. People can. When my cousin came from UK, he went with Fanti Kenke. You can take it to anywhere.
Yeah.
You see, so Fanti Kenke is the best.
I like
Fanti.
Bismarck, I like your rhyme, Fanti Kenke and Fanti.
Yeah, when you go my hometown market, you get quality Fanti Kenke there.
Yeah.
So small. So people who are mentioning all sorts of food, I don't support them. Fanti Kenke and Fanti there. Don't go there.
But you see,
Bismarck, thank you, and that's our last call.
Yes, for now, because while we're talking about Kokonte, it's well, from the calls, Kokonte is one. And
sorry, only the calls.
Yes,
we know that messaging.
Yes.
It was
when it is convenient, you say only the calls.
No, first of all, one of the things you do is that we will add all the votes on Twitter too.
Yes, which means
votes on WhatsApp, everything.
Yeah.
Then we'll look at the total.
Yeah, that's true.
And the total would constitute 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we'll use that. No. We need to be very fair.
We cannot let only those who can call be the ones. I mean, it will be excluding a section of our society, very relevant section of the society.
Nana Nsakwao, the president of the Little Republic of Edumasa, has sent me this one. He says, now this is 2023 Adonko and Adum Kokonte party. So Adum FM is part of it too.
Yeah.
There's Kokonte party. It's happening on Easter Monday at Edumasa. All you need is your assignment.
The Little Republic.
The Little
Kokonte
Republic
party.
of Edumasa.
Okay, looks like.
Do you know that?
Yes.
Oh, you know that, Mama. You know that too.
No, I haven't been there before.
I'll take you.
Ejina, then you go to Edumasa, then to Jekiti. I know that.
I'll take you.
Oh, it's a nice place.
I mean, I just would have preferred that he added fufu to it, but I mean, clearly.
It says Kokonte. So this one, Nana says he's inviting all of us.
Yes.
And my wife too is listening. So I'll be.
You have got permission to.
No, I said you're taking her or what?
Oh, no, she'll take care of the little boy.
Yes. You bring some to her. Yes. No, there's this message from the whole Central MP. He says fufu is the only real food. Other meals have their names. I can take the real food 3 times a day, and even at midnight. It's the easiest to send to the stomach. Benjamin Podo. This has parliamentary endorsement.
Yes,
so that means that you have won.
Kwame Sapon says, why are all these area boys' foods confusing their area champion status with a global undisputed Ghanaian food champion of international repute, fufu, which has many soup combinations?
Yes.
Is this to a debate to be had?
Yeah.
It's like comparing Nigeria's jollof to Ghana's jollof.
Yes.
Please, let's stop this.
No. We are watching down the purity of fufu by even putting it in this category. We should be looking for number 2 and 3.
When the calls were coming in and Kokonte was getting the higher votes, you guys were so quiet.
I think people are mistaking what they like to what should be the national food. National food is of prestige. What you like might not be, based on your pocket. But as for national food, yeah. I tried finding out. So, for example, if you wanted to do so, I tried finding out from the WIPOs and even there's an AUIPO unit whether any of this, but I couldn't find what we could do. Because you would have seen, for example, maybe you may not just be able to patent fufu or register anything close to that. What you could do is a very extraordinary way of preparing that's unique to your people or to somebody, and that can be done. Have we tried registering anything like that? And have we elevated it to that level so that tomorrow Chinese who are now learning how to build their own, what they call it, asanka and do the other things like the pestle and the mortar, do not end up registering, improving, or even determining that fufu is their own. As for the other foods, they can, because it's quite simple to prepare anyway. But as for fufu, there, it's of national prestige, so you cannot be.
See, I don't know how fufu got into this, but listen, we have the executive director of the National Folklore Board. It would be good to explore this. Mrs. Bernice Ann Deh-Kumah joins us. We want to say good morning to you, Mrs. Deh-Kumah. We're grateful that you could join us here on the Super Morning Show. Hello, Mrs. Bernice Ann Deh-Kumah.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, ma'am. We're grateful that you could make time to join us, have this conversation. In the meantime, there are messages coming through on WhatsApp. This one says, fufu light soup, dry fish, akosombo mushroom, snail, small okra, goats, blocos and small...
Sure, blocos.
Oh, which one is that?
The boss. Yes, the goat boss.
And small garden eggs languishing on it.
I say blocos.
So this one is goes with what? Fufu?
Yes.
Is that it?
But the mama is fufu at the top.
You don't eat fufu. You don't eat fufu. You've never tried it before.
This one is if you want to lose weight, eat fufu.
Yes.
Because there's fiber in the cassava. You need from Abokobi. I thought it was the opposite of that.
No,
fufu is the only real food. Other meals have their names. I can take the real food 3 times a day, and even at midnight, it's the easiest to send to the stomach. Okay, I think Raymond shared this.
That's the member of parliament for Who Central.
Benjamin Pudu.
Pudu.
Miesi. I will go with Fante with grouper lobsters, shrimps, and octopus. Atu in Tema. Bibresa.
Okay,
this one says it's fufu and granite soup for me. As for kokonte, it's greenish brown. You asked about the color. There you have it. It's from Stephen from Impriaso, Kwewu South. All right, let's go back and see if we have.
The message you
Mrs. Bernice. No, I'll come back and
you see
share
the
rest.
full messages you are just stopping it.
Seriously. Mrs. Bernice Ann Deh-Kumah is Executive Director of the National Folklore Board. I hope that we have a better connection to you now. Good morning again. Okay, great. So, do we have a national meal?
National Folklore Board, we are proposing a papransa or a pledging.
Okay, that's interesting.
The reason is that if you want to take or identify a food as a national meal or dish, then it should be appreciated by a lot of people or a lot of Ghanaians. If you look at Apepransa, Akan community, they appreciate it. If you come to Volta region, they call it Akplejin. If you come to Gang community, they call it Akplejin. So, Gang community, Volta region, Akan community, all these regions within the country appreciate or love Akplejin. So, taking it as a national meal will not be just one particular community or region that we identify food that they appreciate as their local dish and then identify it as a national meal. So looking at our pledge by our inventory, we are conducting a national inventory. We want to document all local dishes, even those that are fading out of the system, so that we can preserve them, then we will not lose them. So in our research, as we conduct our research across the country, we realize that papransa is one of the local dish that is almost appreciated by everybody. Even in northern region, they have their own way of preparing it, and it's just like a papransa. So if you identify or name papransa as a national meal, I think it will be fair to each community and each region.
So, we sort of appreciate the points that you've made and the choice. But how many people in Ghana really, from around all the 16 regions, eat apapransa?
Because it's not a food that we eat as a maybe daily meal that is for special occasions. And so when we promote it as a national meal, then it will be used in homes daily or frequently, because we are not promoting it and it's being used for maybe wedding, funeral occasions, parties, and special events. That is why maybe we don't actually know that we should consume it on a daily basis. So if you identify it, because everybody likes apapransa across the region. So if you identify and we start promoting it and we educate or create public awareness about its nutrient components or how it's very enriched with all the kind of ingredients we use to prepare it, then the public would love and prepare it on daily basis. Okay. So we have to put a little effort into it, and the public will appreciate it and use it not only for special occasions.
I mean, I'm just thinking and just curious, Madam Bernice Ann Deh-Kumah, wouldn't it be better to pick something that is widely appreciated and eaten, so that the promotion that you'll be doing, you'll be saving yourself so much promotion?
For example, what do you think in your own view will be the one that will be easy to promote?
Fufu, there's banku, there's kokonte. Why the settling on
banku? Is not everybody who like banku. Kokonte, if you go to the northern region, they prepare something different from banku. Kokonte is not everybody, only few people. Even myself, as I'm here, I don't actually appreciate kokonte. It's cheaper to prepare. If you come on that base, fine. But the number of people who like kokonte are few people. Maybe they want to manage life because things are not easy, so they want to go that way. But Papransa had, you can read on that you appreciate my point, because we have done a few research and documentary on food samples that we have across the region. And looking at Papransa is unique, and it cuts across all the regions in Ghana. And so promoting it will not be very difficult. If you talk about rice and beans full of gas, how many people, elderly people, will not be willing to eat it unless children and maybe active workers that go to construction, carpentry, that are very busy during the day and it can digest very early when you talk about rice and beans. So promoting it, only few will be buying into that idea, because it's not part of their community and it's not part of their history. But Papransa is part of every community's history from beginning, and even children appreciate it.
How about fufu?
What about what?
Fufu.
Fufu only few.
Really?
Fufu too. It's only some communities that or region that appreciate it most. But look at Akleje. If you come to Volta region, everybody love it.
But there's fufu in the Volta region.
Even in that way, Akan community even gave it a name, Apapransa. And then we have a name in Gam community, Akleji. And when you come to Volta region, they have a name for it. This only meal has its own name in every community. But rice and beans, you go to communities, they don't have names to identify it. So I think we should promote it. And it's hard. We can even put it on World Heritage list as food from Ghana.
Okay.
And foreigners can also appreciate it and love to eat, to even witness how it's being prepared. Let's come together, because we have done few research. By June, we'll go further to other parts of the region to see what food are there that we can add to the collections we have. Because as a nation, we need to have a national register. So far we have a provisional register. And now on our provisional register, Papransa is on our provisional register. Okay. And we are going further to add other food samples on the register as a nation. So first, this is what we have researched and realized that it's not only one community who love eating or preparing it or appreciate it. And so if you promote it, it will be very easy to even foreigners who love it.
Talking about the fufu, for instance, then we'll get to the research. So I know, for instance, that it's in the western, central, eastern, Bono, Ahafo Bono East, Ashanti. I've been to Tamale before, and when I've been to Tamale, I didn't struggle to get fufu to eat, for instance. In the Volta region, there is yam fufu, te fufu. My very favorite fufu in the Volta region is Atokokwe, where I go and I get fufu to eat. So, all over the country, based on the analysis that you make, you can also find fufu everywhere. So, for a lot of people, they say, this is something that is becoming more like a national staple. Why don't we use that rather than something that we say, when promoted, people would accept it?
Do you know that if I am coming from maybe northern region, I'm in hurry, I can buy papransa in takeaway and sit in my car or be in a bus and I can eat. What about fufu? Can you?
Okay.
Fufu, you have to look for bowl. You have to see somewhere. You are thinking of the soup. A lot of issues. So it's not only in terms of going everywhere. In fact, how the packaging and all that comes into play.
Okay. So you're introducing new elements.
If you want to buy fufu, that means you have to go to a restaurant. They have to put it in a rubber for you. When they put the soup in a rubber, you have to get a place, pour it in a bowl. But I can just buy papransa in a takeaway, sit in my car comfortably, and I'll eat.
Okay. So
we don't just talk about how packaging and all those things, we take those things into consideration.
Okay. You've introduced new elements now. You've introduced new factors. You've talked about not just the appreciation, but also how easy it is for people to, package this food, for instance, and other things. Let's look at the other factors that you considered in deciding that apapransa should become the national meal. Beyond its appreciation, beyond how it's easily packaged, what other factors did you consider?
Yes, the third factor is about the nutrient content in apapransa. We have a balance. We have beans in it. We have meat in it. We have seafood like crab in it. We have roasted corn. We have oil. When you put all these things together, it's more balanced than fufu and light soup, or I don't know whether we are talking about light soup or palm nut soup or groundnut soup. If you come to apapransa, if you talk about palm nut soup, is there. If you talk about light soup, those that can make up for light soup, anything that we need to prepare dish is a little of that is found in apapransa. So it is even rich in protein for children. It even reduces cancer. If you read properly, we put up a write-up on that. Certain diseases that when you eat papransa, you are protected. And those are some of the things we consider, because some even selling the fufu, they add a lot of cassava. You go to the restaurant and the person is giving you fufu, they say, oh, there's yam inside. Virtually there's no yam, it's only cassava. You are just loading your stomach with cassava. Some light soup are so light that you don't even know after eating, you regret eating that fufu. But in the case of a pransa, it's not like that. Very rich in other nutrients that protect the body from sicknesses. Because under our 2003 UNESCO Convention, we have the sustainable goals that talks about health, protection of the job creations. So we look at the food that we want to put on the national register, if it meets these requirements,
right?
And before we actually select them as food that we can promote as national meal, or that will be appreciated by Ghanaians, not only by Ghanaians but as well as foreigners, looking at our research base.
Did you also consider the mode of preparation? Isn't it a bit complicated?
The mode of preparation is not a bit complicated. If you are a big smart, you can do it. Maybe what will happen is that before you prepare, you already have the roasted corn. If you go to market, the last time we were having the poultry preparation, we just went to the market and the powder was there prepared already. I was surprised. The powder was prepared in the market, so we just bought it. So very easy. And now look at how you pound fufu. Even some local, let me say, people from the district, the community. Some do not want to use machine to pound their fufu. They still use the olden method because that is what they love most. And only few people are using the machine. And even sometimes you have to go where you pay and somebody will put the hand in the fufu and all those things. We look at all those things and we realize that it is better we promote apapransa.
Right.
The hygienic condition that the fufu is prepared. Somebody will go and urinate. Maybe the person will not even wash the hand well and start turning the fufu for you. Go and sit down and eat. You come home, you're having stomach problem.
So do we have timelines? I mean, by what time do we think that we can have a meal? I mean, so you've settled on apapransa, is that it? Or you're still doing more of the research going around asking for options? Yes,
we are still doing more research to see if there's any other food that have the first, by our scaling standard, take the first position. Then we can put apapransa as second. But for now, we have apapransa on our provisional register as a nation, and we'll be doing other research in June and come out with a lot of other food sample across the region. And if there's a better one in terms of packaging, in terms of hygienic, the content, the nutritional content and all that, then we can put that as first, and then we'll start promoting that one as national meal.
Okay. I'm just curious because you talked about you're going to do another research. Now, the first research that you did, that got you apapransa. How did you do it, and how are you going to do this next research that you're going to do?
We know we have 16 regions, and so we do pilot research. That means you will put 2 regions together, and that's the first one we've done. And then now we'll go deep into because you can't, if you are doing research, you do first sampling. You look at, you do mapping, places that you can identify ICH, we call it intangible cultural heritage, that are predominant in those communities. We identify them, those that are easily to identify. And so that's what we did first, the piloting. We did pilot research. That's the first one we did. Because you have to get the provisional register, because if you don't do that, that means as a nation we don't have any register at all. Okay. So first we need to have the provisional register, and then we add to, and then we'll have a complete national register. That means we will go further to more regions, more districts to gather our information, our finding out of the research we've done. So that is what we have done.
Okay. I've been interested in the how. So did you administer questions to these people? And what were these questions? Or you engaged in observation?
Yes, we got a facilitator from South Africa, and so we put our team together. We have other stakeholders in Ghana, for instance, UNESCO, National Commission on Culture, and other agencies that are stakeholders. We design the questionnaires with the participants. We have about 25 participants that we train across the whole country, each from each community and some from Greater Accra. And so in the capacity building process, we develop the questionnaires. And these are the questionnaires we use to gather our information. And so we are going to, based on our finding, want to improve upon the questionnaires that we used earlier on, and then use that for the next research we are going to embark on in June.
Okay, I mean, let's not stay on, this research. But I mean, lastly on this. So, the people that you train, how did they identify the respondents?
We, come again.
So, I mean, you said, you're looking at the sample size and everything. Let's say you've studied the population. This is the number of people I want to interview, for instance. I am interested in, for instance, because you're talking about appreciation. I mean, what percentage of the country did we decide that we're going to speak to, and how did we identify the persons that we administered the questions to?
I think first, in my submission, I said that even before we decide to do this research, we realized that Apapransa has name that originated from 3 communities that we identified. That means that those communities actually appreciate it. That is why it has a name that belongs to each community. Greater Accra, Akan community across Shanti and all that, and then Volta region. So looking at this, and we base on and that, and we send the questionnaires around, or we went to a community. We said that's in that case we said culture mapping. That's the word we use. Culture mapping means that you identify where those practices are going on in various communities. And then because you identify during the cultural mapping, you can go straight to those communities and see whether they still practice it and if that practice is still going on. If it's not going on, that means people do not appreciate it, and then the is dying out. So if it's dying, that means there's no appreciation for it. But when we went to those communities, we realized that, yes, the people still practice it as part of their heritage. And so other people also, when it's being prepared to functions and events, according to their report, is that is the one of the first meal that is finished before other things that they send. For instance, if there is a function, party, funeral, and they set the table according to the caterers, there is the Papransa is the first one that people want to taste. So sometimes Papransa is finished, other fufu, banku, and the rest are there, and people are not willing to eat. They are fed up. And so these are some of the information we gather from some of the people.
Okay. All right. Well, we have to end our conversation. So I was asking about timelines. When would we have a national meal then? Sometime this year? Do you think we can close the chapter on this?
I'm very happy and glad this month we are working on highlight music as well as our kente to let it be part of our intangible ICH, intangible cultural heritage belonging to Ghana.
Okay.
And so the month of March, we're thinking that we will come to some of the media houses to teach the public about some recipes of some of our food that are dying so that people will appreciate it and will preserve them. And so now that you are doing this program, I'm so happy, and I want to encourage you to continue. And so we have to work with the media, hoping that by the end of, let's say by December, we will be done with our compilation of our national register, and then we can actually conclude on one. But now, as I speak, on our provisional register, we have Papransa. But when we are concluded on the research across the whole country, by June, then we can decide that, yes, we are going for Papransa. Then we will collaborate with the media. Media will support us so that we can achieve this plan getting to the end of the year.
Right. Okay. Well, we are very grateful for your time. Thank you for the explanations and where you've gotten to in your work as well. We'll be following up. Mrs. Bernice Ann Deh-Kumah is Executive Director, National Folklore Board.